KP in the news.
That's right. It's KP in the news, baby. That's right. It's KP in the news, and I'm gonna do this. Kind of jump around a little bit here on these articles. This first one, so I have this. If you can see it, I have this USS John McCain shirt on here. And it's unofficial military cap, and I'm wearing this in support of the U.S. Navy commander of the USS Theodore Roosevelt aircraft carrier, Captain Brett Crozier, and I'm doing this to support him because what happened with him was he had 114 men above that were on the USS Roosevelt out of 4,000. He had a crew of 4,000, which is like, you might as well say that's like more people than they have in some small cities. So you had 114 of those people had tested positive for the coronavirus, and so basically what they're doing is they're stating that by him releasing this information and writing a letter to someone, he had been trying to get in contact and been dealing with the chain of command, and for whatever reason he wasn't getting any results. So, but you got to remember, 2 weeks ago, the DC Dunce gave orders for anybody in the military to basically cover up and not reveal the coronavirus numbers. So while they're trying to hide, this coronavirus numbers that are coming from the military, why they're trying to hide that, I have no idea. And it's pretty similar with the same thing that orders that he gave to the governors of every state to not reveal the correct unemployment numbers, to turn the unemployment numbers over to the federal government, and they would release them like every Thursday. So the cover-ups, I have no idea why they're doing so many cover-ups here. But here, back to the story. Here you had a commanding officer of an aircraft carrier, which, like I said, which is almost like a small city with so many people on it. And his people were sick. He needed help. So it's like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to let these people die on this ship, just like you wanted to try to let the people die on these cruise ships that were out there on the cruise ships that you refuse to let dock, and you refuse to let these people get help, and you refuse to let them get off the ships. It's like, I don't understand this person. I really don't. I truly don't understand him, and he's really confusing to deal with because his wishy-washy going up, down, up, down, up, down. He says one thing, then he says something else. It's like he did the other day, basically confusing people about this whole thing about the masks, wearing masks. And the CDC said, hey, everybody should be wearing the mask if you're going out the house. And then he turns around and tried to undercut them by saying, well, I'm not going to wear a mask. That's optional. These people are trying to get this thing under control. I don't leave out the house. If I'm going out the house to go in the grocery store or whatever, I'm putting on a mask. I got my mask on. And another thing that I was telling people about what I've been doing also is that I'll take like a cotton ball or something and cut it in half, and I'll put it in my ears, because anything, well, you can get it, if you can get it in your nose, you can get it in your mouth, that means you can get it in your ears too. That's why they have a doctor that says eyes, ears, nose, and throat. So, hey, somebody was saying something today about the possibility you can get it through your eyes. So that part I can't verify, but why take chances, why take chances out there? But anyway, here's a situation where you had a person that was exposed because for whatever reason, you have these people are driving, this is a bus driver here, and it's like they're not, the companies that have these bus drivers out there, they're not allowing them to wear masks on these buses. I don't understand that. I really truly don't. And anyway, you have a Jason Hargrove, a city bus driver from Detroit, who posted a video on social media angrily complaining about one of his passengers who was coughing without covering her mouth, has sadly died from the C virus. He was only 50 years old. Hargrove's video was posted on his Facebook page just about 2 weeks ago. In the video, he talks about a woman who rode his bus and apparently did not care and was not taking the pandemic serious enough because she repeatedly coughed without covering her mouth. During his 8-minute video, he was heard saying, we're out here in the public as public workers, doing our jobs, trying to make an honest living to take care of our families, but for you to get on the bus and stand on the bus and cough several times without covering your mouth, that lets me know that some folks don't care. They utterly don't give a fuck. Excuse my language. Just 4 days after recording and posting that video, Hargrove himself began to feel sick and sadly passed away late Wednesday night. Mike Dugan, the mayor of Detroit, made a public announcement saying everybody in America should watch the Hargrove's video. Dugan commented, he was infected before we closed the front doors. Some of his language is graphic, but I don't know how you can watch it and not tear up. He knew his life was being put in jeopardy, but someone didn't take that seriously, and now he's gone. It remains unclear if Hargrove contracted the illness from the specific passenger that he had referenced in the video. And even if he didn't, I mean, it's like, wow, this is some serious stuff going on out here, man. You know, you got people that are not taking this thing serious, like you got all the kids down there going to spring break and all this garbage. You know, you need to be at home. You need to be at home doing what, staying at home. And I heard of several articles about parents who knew that their kids went to spring break, and when the kids got back, the parents are like, oh no, you can't come in here. You're not coming in my house, and you just been to spring break. You're not coming here. So now they're like left to their own devices, and they're like, well, hey, I'm sorry, I can't allow you to come into my house, and you're out there exposed. I don't know if you got it or not. You don't even know if you got it or not, but you can't come here. So how are we supposed to feel about that? And so this is a story here. I'm moving on to the next story. That was Detroit. Now this is Chicago. The coronavirus has reportedly infected at least 844 African Americans in the state of Illinois, sadly making the demographic the second highest ethnic group infected with the virus in the state. It further disproves earlier misconceptions that blacks are immune from the virus because of their genetic structure. According to the figures released by the Illinois Department of Public Health on March 27th, out of 3,026 confirmed cases of the C virus in Illinois last week, black patients comprised of 28%, white patients with 1,100 cases made up 39% of all the cases during that same time period. Asians comprised 4% with 121 cases, and other races, and 9% included other races, and 20% were unidentified. There were no available figures on the number of the C virus deaths by race. As the latest report, there have been 157 C virus related deaths, and known cases increased to 7,600 statewide, and at least 12 of those cases were from Cook County Clerk Dorothy Brown's office. So 12 of them was just from the Cook County Clerk's office alone. It said out of her 1,400 employees, 12 tested positive for the coronavirus, and 8 of them were black. We have to be careful. This thing is very serious, and we can't take it. We just can't stop and think it's not serious. Moreover, more people thought that black people could not get the virus when it started spreading in the United States from China and Italy, but recent increasing cases and deaths toll related to the coronavirus in the black community shows that that's not true. In fact, blacks are considered one of the most vulnerable groups to the coronavirus due to the underlying health conditions and commonly affected black people. Also, the fact that they don't have health insurance and they can't afford the treatments and they can't afford to get the tests. So there's an ever increasing number of deaths of blacks with no underlying health conditions. So this thing doesn't affect. It's not about color. You know, people don't have to get rid of that. You know, first they was talking about it was an age thing that only old people had to worry about it. Then it's, you know, so then they discover, well, you know, now you got kids that are dying from it. And I reported on a teenager, a 17-year-old, the other day that died from it in Lancaster, California. So age, race, sex, all of those things are a non-factor when you're talking about this the C virus. It can take anybody out, anybody. So age, like I said, age, race, sex, none of that matters. None of that matters when it comes to the coronavirus. It does not discriminate.